Hey folks, it's Gardenguy here today, and I'm here to tell you and share with you about my top 5 sources of mulch material that I use in my gardens. Let's do it. Plus we'll be talking about the pros and cons of each different type and the reasons I like and also don't like certain types of mulch in different scenarios and situations. Also, these 5 different types of mulches are easily accessible for most folks and very cheap, if not free. Number 1 is wood chips. Got all kinds of wood chips here, and man oh man are they good stuff. I mean, we got all kinds of like leaves and needles and twigs and all kinds of goodness. Now this is a high carbon type of mulch, so when you add it you want to probably add some nitrogen as well. Otherwise it'll tie up the nitrogen in the soil and you'll be stuck with nitrogen in decomposition process but not available to your plants. So one of the cons of wood chips is that it can be a little bit on the carbon side and it can steal the nitrogen, but also the pro of wood chips is that it's easily accessible, usually free if you can get your city probably goes around trimming stuff, get them to dump it at your house and you will get all this stuff for free. I got all this right here for free. One of the pros of wood chips is that they have a great capacity of holding water. You get this little piece of wood soaking wet and it's gonna hold that water better than say other types of mulch. Oh yeah, got all kinds of goodness here. Wood chips galore, got all leaves and twigs. When you get wood chips, you wanna have all kinds of different sizes so that the airflow can go through. Sawdust is okay, but really sawdust is gonna be less prone to decompose. All right folks, number 2 is leaves. Leaves are kind of similar to wood chips, but they have more of a capacity to break down quicker. So if you add leaves in the fall, you know, by the time spring comes around, those are decomposed pretty good by then. I like leaves for the fact that they do decompose quicker, but also I don't like that they are just gone the next year. You know, wood chips, you want to have a layer of mulch on top, and then the leaves, unless you pile them really thick, are going to be gone pretty quick. So there's a pro of them that they do break down quicker and they make that humus of soil. But at the same time, leaves can be a bit of a con if you don't have, you know, another layer of organic material on top. Don't trust in leaves to be your only and, you know, end all be all source of mulch for the top of your soil. Leaves are awesome in the fact that most people have trees around their houses, so you can just go and get your leaves, collect them, pile them up. I've got a bin in here that's got some good leaves. Especially I want to have these for later. If I want to like winterize a plant, I'll surround it with leaves, and then at the end of the year, pull those out, and the plant will come back to life. These leaves are a wonderful source of mulch, very cheap, very effective. Number 3 is cardboard and paper. Voila, here it is. These guys are awesome. I mean, super cheap. You can get cardboard for free anywhere in any recycling place. Just go get it and bring it to your house. My recommendation though for using this kind of material is don't just use paper as your only mulch. This is the reason why. Whenever I was growing up, I did a CSA garden, and what I did was I got all this shredded paper and cardboard and I piled it real thick in one area. And it worked pretty well for a while, but then what happened is it was slow to break down and decompose. And also, when the sun would come, it would dry up that paper so quickly that the wind would come and blow it everywhere, you know, around the garden. As well as the weeds could lift the paper up and then get to the sun. So it didn't really work great as a mulch like that. So my recommendation for using cardboard or paper is to use it as a smothering layer. So like lay this flat on the ground and then on top of that put compost or wood chips or mulch of other sort that's not going to blow around and not going to dry out quickly. Paper is a great source of free carbon. It's going to add organic matter to your soil. It's going to hold in that moisture of the soil, and yeah, it's a great source. Also, watch out though, for one of the cons for these is a lot of times there's plastic on here, or sometimes there's those magazines that have slick sides. I don't really like to add that to the soil because it has all kinds of material that's not going to break down very well. So just try to remove those things and only use paper that's not slick and that does not have tape on it. But super awesome source of carbon that is actually very useful for no-till gardens, which I'll show you my no-till garden over here real quick and show you what happened to the cardboard we put down just like 2 months ago. So here's my no-till garden. Got a layer of compost in here from a little bit ago. Let's dig down right here where there's no plants yet. Got all this compost layer. Then what else do we got? Mushroom compost, which is looking good. That's this more brown material. Then trying to get to the cardboard. Aha! We arrived at the cardboard. And you know what? The cardboard is no longer there. Looks like the cardboard has already all been decomposed. That was quick. So, when you put paper or cardboard, I mean there was a whole layer of cardboard down there. When you put paper or cardboard, just know that it's going to break down pretty quick if you have a layer of mulch or compost of some other type on top. And your plants just like these are going to love having the mulches. Folks, there's the garden, and number 4 on the list. Number 4 is right outside the garden, right here. See all these grass clippings? I'm talking good stuff. Right there is some serious mulch. When I mow, if there's big thick piles of it, I'll get that grass and pile it up in one area. Now, one of the cons of grass is that a lot of times it can have weed seeds in it. So my recommendation would be to only use it if you're going to put some other non-seed filled mulch on top of it. Grass is very high in nutrients and as well as capacity to break down quicker. So a lot of times I'll get grass and I'll pile it, you know, like fairly thick around my plants that are going to need some more nitrogen a little bit later on in the season. So like squashes and cucumbers and all the cucurbits, I like to put grass around those because they are going to be needing quite a bit of nitrogen later on in the season. After they've developed their vines, they will be needing a lot of nitrogen to build and to produce those gourds or cucumbers or whatever it is that the cucurbit is growing. So putting grass there, at first it's going to do nothing, but it'll break down fairly quick, and then there'll be like a little shot of, you know, more nitrogen that the plant could actually benefit from later on in its growth process. So yes, grass is a wonderful source of mulch. Most people have some type of yard, so you have that source of mulch. Just bale it when you're mowing, just have a baler, or if you mow in a circle, shooting all your grass towards the middle, that's another way you can collect it and just put it on your garden. Just watch out, like I said before, watch out for the grass seeds. If you do have Bermuda grass or other types of grass seeds, I would not use it in your garden until you have composted it for like a whole year, so that you can get rid of those seeds and like Bermuda grass, it can start itself again from cuttings. So make sure you don't have those types of grasses. But all in all, if you use it even just as a compost source, then last but not least, folks, is hay/straw. Now there is a difference between hay and straw. Straw is technically a type of hay. Straw is like wheat straw. So basically they grow the wheat, they harvest the grain, and then the stalk and everything that's left over, that is the wheat. And then you have hay, which like around here, there's a big field over there. Those guys over there in the summertime will go, they'll cut it down and they'll let it dry out, and then they're gonna bale it. And the deal with that is it's got all kinds of different native grasses and perennial weeds and all kinds of stuff, which is good actually for the benefit of your soil if you're using it as a mulch. But one of the cons is you can run into a lot of seeds, a lot of potentially frustrating and harmful weed seeds that you don't want to introduce to your garden. I've made that mistake before by just putting hay down, and it looks good for a while, but then you start seeing these seeds pop up and these little weeds pop up that you didn't even know existed. And the thing is, they didn't exist, you introduced them accidentally. So be careful to not add hay if you're not going to be putting a very thick layer of some non-seed bearing mulch on top, like wood chips is my favorite. So if you're gonna use any type of hay or straw, I would recommend straw for if you're gonna have that as your top layer, because straw does not really have any seeds. It might have a few wheat seeds in it, but for the most part, it's not gonna have many, and it's only one type of plant. So in the long run, even if some of those wheat come up, they're not gonna grow back from their own seeds. But one of the cons I will mention of specifically straw is that straw is very high in carbon. A lot of carbon in there, and so it's gonna break down fairly slowly. And another thing is slugs do like to kind of hang out in straw. And we don't want slugs in our gardens. Watch out for putting too much straw down without other types of mulch and compost. All those slugs are gonna go crazy. Not happy plants, not happy plants. I think that's it. I think that's 5, isn't it? I think we covered it, didn't we? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, awesome. Y'all made it this far, good job. We have 5 main mulches that I like to use in my gardens. Let's go over them again real quick. We got wood chips and leaves and paper / cardboard and grass clippings from your yard and hay / straw. Those are 5 of the really good sources of mulches. Now my favorite, all-time favorite for putting on top, always having as a top layer, is wood chips. Partially because wood chips do not have seeds in them. So I'm not gonna be introducing any new seeds. And if I wanna bury seeds, like bury a layer of hay or bury the grass out here that I'm covering up with no-till, wood chips are a nice top layer up there. Folks, thanks for watching. It's been a good time. Love talking with y'all, love sharing some stuff. I would love any comments and questions. Please comment with the types of mulches that you all like to use. You might be living in different areas of the world, and yeah, let's just be a community of people learning how to sow and grow and get better and better at using the space that we have, whether that's a windowsill or a raised bed or in-ground garden like I've got here, and stewarding it towards abundance. That's what we're supposed to do here as people. So yeah, let's be good stewards of the space we've got and grow some good veggies that are tasty and healthy. Folks, thanks for watching. Gardenguy here. See you next time. God bless. Chips just have a way of locking in the moisture of the soil. I mean, you can see, push these back a little bit and you see this rich layer of just wonderful material. It's still breaking down. I mean, look at this. This is tomatoes, cucumbers, strawberries, all kinds of fun stuff for next year. The fact that this right here came from this, that's so cool. I love it. I mean, this guy is thriving based off of and because of the decomposition and death that's happened out here. Such a cool process.